Experience the traditional craftsmanship. Listen to stories from China and abroad. As the Consul General knocks on the door of intangible cultural heritage, what kind of new brilliance will ancient wisdom display? Cantonese opera, a local opera sung in Cantonese, is famous for its unique singing style and gorgeous costumes. It's a fascinating mixture of singing, recitation, dancing, and even martial arts. This traditional art was inscribed as an intangible cultural heritage of humanity by UNESCO in 2009 and is still a part of people's daily lives today. And you can't talk about literary heritage that goes beyond national boundaries without mentioning Shakespeare's plays. The profound exploration of human nature, intricate plots, and ultimate dramatization have greatly influenced the literature and theater of later generations. So what will happen when the two meet? I'd like to invite a new friend of mine to be there with me to witness it. Miss Sarah Mann, the British Consul General in Guangzhou, enjoys learning local culture and history and loves literature and theater. I hope this lady is ready to experience what Cantonese opera has to offer.
Good morning, Sarah.
Vivian, there you are. How are you?
Good, and you?
Lovely to see you.
Pleased to meet you too. How do you like these characters?
It's amazing. This is my first time here. The characters are just out of this world.
Yes, and these characters actually are the very classic characters in Cantonese opera. And today I would love to introduce you to the very superstar of the Cantonese opera world. Do you love to meet her?
I'd definitely love to meet her. Let's do it.
曾小敏, head of Guangdong Cantonese Opera Theatre, has won the China Theatre Plum Blossom Award and the Wenhua Performance Award. One of her masterpieces is the first 4K Cantonese opera film in China, White Snake, which set a new box office record for Chinese traditional opera films when it was released in 2021. Her continuous exploration of both the traditional aesthetics of Cantonese opera and the modern performing skills earned the Cantonese opera film Madame Qiao Guo the Best Traditional Opera Film Award at the 36th Golden Rooster Awards.
您好，曾老师。
哎呀，小马，小马，
哎呀，
哎，你好，
很开心又见到您。
蒋老师，
曾老师就是我刚才说的 superstar。
好，很厉害。
哇，首先我要恭喜一下您哦，您的第2部粤剧电影《乔国夫人》又拿了一个大奖，金鸡奖，非常厉害。
是的，我们也很开心，因为通过戏曲电影，可以让更多的观众能够看到粤剧，喜欢粤剧。
是你，很厉害。
Sarah， 看过粤剧没有？
我就看过一点点，想要看更多。I've only been in Guangzhou for 5 months, and I've been wanting to learn more about
in the next few years.
Cantonese.
好啊，好啊。那么其实小马应该是广州人，你应该是对粤剧非常熟悉吧？
哇，我是听着粤剧长大的，我最熟悉的那一句啊，就是落街冇錢買麵包，借錢又怕老婆鬧。
但是他刚才唱的那段呢，就是帝女花的香腰，旋律是那个旋律，但词呢他已经改了。正规的是落花滿天白月光，這一 背负金凤台上，词意完全不一样。他的那个就是小朋友一个玩耍的一个民间版本呢。
So beautiful. I drown myself into her voice.
Likewise. I have all these questions, but now I just want to listen to you singing more.
我想你们今天来了，肯定要尝试一下。那么等一下你们先穿上水袖，感受一下，我再告诉你们可以体验什么，好不好？
好的。
好，非常好。
这排练场，他们在练功。进来。
哇 ，so tricky.
这翻身。
Oh, they are super cool.
Wow. Do you think we could handle that?
No.
他们刚才
我们不是要学这个吗？
有点紧张。
今天你们可以试一下水袖，
水袖之后
就变仙女了是吧？收，甩下去。
Oh my goodness.
I'm a big fan of you. Oh my god,
It's so
you are the
beautiful. I felt like I was getting tangled up in my own clothes, if I'm honest.
曾老师，我们今天学了这么多的基本功，我很好奇，今天其实我们到底会尝试哪个剧目呢？
我觉得可以尝试一段《白蛇传情》的白蛇和小青的一个片段。
哇，My favorite Cantonese opera.
What a coincidence, because Wisney was inscribed as the national level intangible cultural heritage in 2006. And you know, Cantonese opera is also the intangible cultural heritage. So it is creme de la creme of the intangible cultural heritage. It's so amazing. I'm really excited to
Try the Wisney because you are as elegant as her. Wisney is very elegant.
You're far too generous.
要商量好再
And
讲。
Wisney is a little bit naughty, sometimes childish. I want to be a kid, so can I ask you for a favor?
Of course. I will trust your judgment. You are definitely more knowledgeable about the story than I am, although I know it's a very famous story here.
So maybe we could take these challenges. Both? I want to challenge the green snake, and you challenge the white snake.
Okay.
Okay.
除了水袖之外，我们还有其他的道具，比如说扇子，一起来就是配合这个表演。那么你拿着这把，
好的。
然后白蛇拿着这一把，
好的。
这个呢就是一个衬托。白蛇看到人间的第一个亮相，看到人间是这样的。那小青就不一样了，小青是看到人间啊，它是这样。充满好奇的，白蛇呢，就是看到就是深呼吸一口，但是他收着，是这样。
She was amazing, and it was incredible to understand how Cantonese opera is made and how these tiny gestures mean so much. But it was quite uncomfortable for me.
Okay, I think you could imagine you are meeting your Mr. Right there for the first time. For the first time, you are very excited to meet him, but you need to hide your feelings.
Yeah.
然后白蛇是好美，然后收着，小青是好美，好，
反应
好，能叮，先一看到，一是看到，小青赞。怎么样？感觉？
哇，我从来没看过我没有头发的样子。
It's the first time I've done any kind of stage makeup. Have you done this before, Vivian?
No, this is also my first time. But you know, many Cantonese are dreaming of doing this because it's a very professional makeup of the Cantonese opera.
我觉得只要你走进粤剧，100%会喜欢上的。其实粤剧一直都是非常开放包容，跟我们广东精神是非常吻合的。我们有一个很好的一个戏叫《刁蛮公主干驸马》，这部戏是从莎士比亚的《寻汉记》改编过来的，是一部很好的喜剧，可以说是立演不衰。这些呢，也是体现了我们岭南文化敢为天下先的这种包容和大气，还有创新的精神。
Sarah,
Yeah.
how do you feel about it now?
It's amazing watching the transformation. I don't think I'd want to do this to get ready for work each day, though. It takes a long time. I showed my children photos of me last night and they didn't recognize me in the makeup. You just look like a completely different person. It's a huge privilege, but I have so much respect for the people who do that and perform on stage night after night because it's such thick makeup and the headdress was so heavy. It very quickly gave me a headache. Wow, you look so different.
So where is Sarah now?
Yeah, I think she's having tea with Vivian in the back.
I think so. So you are the gorgeous Wednesday.
I love your dress.
Oh, thank you. I'm a naughty Wednesday now.
好，现在你们出来了，然后扮上了白蛇、小青，我们先示范一次。看到人间美好，啊，好美！转身，第二个亮相，看小青，怕羞，然后再看，好，你们来。
Fairies on earth. Oh my god, so beautiful.
I think it's like a magic. How come a human being could make their eyes so expressive?
第一个亮相，看到人间美好，把眼神亮出去。转身，第二个亮相，看小青，看小青，扇子在这儿。
我不能坐在一起表
很好，
达。
就是转完身之后，这个扇子又拉回来这儿，就是这个脸庞旁边。哎，对，这样，看他，不好意思，有，对，
Oh, what's the most difficult gesture? I don't know if it counts as a gesture, but the widening of the eyes and looking into the distance. I don't know if my eyes actually can do that. It was with the makeup, they got held open with tape, so that helped a little bit. But even so, it was very hard for me to give that kind of expression to my eyes.
Try our best. We could do it.
加油!
Oh,
非常棒。其实戏曲它是一个综合艺术，我们的手眼身法步每一个环节都要配合得很好。你们今天是刚刚尝试体验一下，我觉得已经很棒了，已经有这种味道了。
谢谢鼓励。We need to practice more.
我觉得5-6年的练习可能做。
I've noticed that the Cantonese opera film, The White Snake, has achieved a very high views of the social media. I think for every master of their intangible cultural heritages, it's very important to find the key to open young generation's heart.
希望你们从此以后能喜欢上粤剧，然后
我们已经很喜欢了。
对，
也欢迎你们来在我们广东粤剧院这个大舞台来看我们的演出。
一言为定。
好。
Performing Cantonese opera or trying to perform Cantonese opera was very difficult for me. I think it's time that Vivian experienced some of that challenge of performing something that comes from a different culture and a different language to her own. Welcome to the British School of Guangzhou here on the South Lake campus. How are you?
Good, my sister.
So today I'd like to invite you to experience a Shakespeare drama class here at the school.
Wow, sounds cool.
Yeah?
But it's a big challenge for me.
Oh, yesterday was a pretty big challenge for me. I think you can definitely do it. Shakespeare's easier than Cantonese opera.
Are you sure? It's easier for you, but it's more difficult for me.
I think you can do it. Let's try.
Morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Today we are looking at Comedy of Errors. We have two guests with us. We've got Sarah here, and then we have Vivian as well. The scene that we're looking at today, as I say, is from Comedy of Errors.
So William Shakespeare is Britain's most famous playwright and poet. He was born in 1564, so this was Elizabethan times in the UK and England. And he lived in London and in Stratford. He wrote 37 plays and 154 sonnets, which are a particular type of poem. And so he is really a part of English and British cultural heritage. A lot of the language that he used was very innovative for its time. He actually made up a lot of new words and new phrases, and we frequently use his kind of poetry and his phrases today.
Basically, what happens is there are two sons that were born, Antipholus.
You don't go, oh, sorry, what's your name? It's like quite, it's a little bit better for them. They just know all of their servants called John, right? But in this instance, it's called Julian, okay?
So this is one of those classic Shakespeare comedy plays where everybody's identity is confused for everyone else's, and we all have no idea who anyone is the whole time.
Absolutely.
That's basically what his comedies are, right?
Yeah, absolutely. If you are able to follow it, then it's hilarious. Otherwise, you're just lost.
I lost
Right.
now.
Me too.
When you introduce too many details of it, it got you lost too.
So if we just work our way around the circle and then just sort of alternate, okay?
All this my sister is, or else should be.
Call thyself sister, sweet, for I am thee. Thee will I love, and thee lead with my life. Thou hast no husband yet, nor I no wife. Give me thy hand.
Oh, soft sir, hold you still. I will fetch my sister to get her goodwill.
Well done. What is happening? Like, what is this conversation, guys?
I have many questions for this script actually. So like this one. For gazing on your beams, fair sun, being by. So what is fair sun?
I think even for lots of native English speakers, Shakespeare can be really difficult. The language is both old, but also very poetic. And even in his time, he was using language in really novel and innovative ways. And lots of kind of words and sayings that we have in modern English actually come from Shakespeare. He was making things up. And then you add on the fact that it's a few hundred years old, and it can be really difficult for both native English speakers, but particularly for people where English isn't their first language.
So the fair sun that's how he's calling her, right? You are the sun, you are the beautiful light, right? So gazing on your beams, gazing on you, gazing on your radiant beauty.
So
right?
you just like the sunshine of my life.
Absolutely, right?
Something like that is a metaphor, right?
So she says that springeth from your eye, right? Okay, so
yes.
when it says springeth, that's like to spring to, that's like bouncing out of, right? So that's like the fault is coming from your eye.
Like the love water from your eyes coming out.
Yes. If you kind of take it back, that's a conversation of going, like, I don't understand how I'm having these sort of loving feelings or anything like that. And they go, well, it's coming from your eyes, right? Because you're looking at me and you're looking at all these other women, and this is where you find your love, right? Okay, it's because you're like looking at all the different women, right? So it's a fault that comes from your eyes.
Oh, okay.
Right.
I have many questions.
Please ask.
And like this one, why call you me love? Call my sister so. The structure of the sentence seems to not make sense.
If you were to modernize the sentence,
Yes.
how would you say this sentence today?
Why call me like baby, call my sister that?
Why do you call me? Why call you?
It is totally different, and yet when you hear Shakespeare performed, quite often you almost have to just go with the flow of it and you can understand it. And then the more you study it sometimes, the harder it is, because you see all of these kind of weird contradictions.
Yeah.
Whereas if you just go, why call you me, love? Call my sister so. You can understand it until you try and understand it too carefully, and then it becomes more and more difficult sometimes.
Yeah.
I think this is why people find
You
Shakespeare so
cannot
hard.
think too much. You just get the brief idea.
If you understand the general thought and the general context of what you want to do, find the few words that are important and then just say the line. right.
Take your time.
Thy sister.
What, are you mad? And you're like, oh no, but come on, please. I'm trying to be really romantic here. Enjoying the playing of, like, to do with love, to do with being cheeky, to be with being playful, right? So this idea of turning it into a song is linked with the idea of being playful.
I don't want to be married. I want to be free.
What we're going to do now is we're going to start adapting the language, okay? So as you said, the language is quite old now. There are several famous modernizations, adaptations of Shakespeare. Do we know any?
10 things I hate about you.
Yes, so we were just talking.
Yeah, I used to
right?
love that one.
Yeah, so we were just talking about 10 Things I Hate About You. That is an adaptation of Taming of the Shrew.
I know some adaptations of Shakespeare in Chinese culture. 刁蛮公主看驸马, this is Cantonese, and translated English is just like the barbarian princess and her simple-minded husband. This opera was inspired by the Shakespeare's play, The Taming of the Shrew.
Yes. Sort of modernizing wise, we have like sort of big one that everyone loves is like Leonardo DiCaprio, sort of Baz Luhrmann, Romeo and Juliet. If you've not watched it, you should watch it. It's very good.
Especially if you're a teenage girl. It came out when I was about 16 and I watched it more times than I'd want to admit right now. Have you seen it?
Yes.
Lovely. So we've got those. We were talking about Lion King being Hamlet.
Yeah.
Young prince, dad dies, gets banished away to a foreign land. He sees the ghost of his dad telling him to go back and take his rightful place as king. It's Hamlet.
Oh, it's much easier to remember Hamlet now that I know that it's
That's
just the Lion King story.
Yeah. And you go, oh.
So outside this theatre we have a quote, "All the world's a stage," that comes from Shakespeare. I mean, most British school children will study him at some point during their life. His words and his works are really deeply interwoven into English culture and into Western culture, and it's really great to see Shakespeare being appreciated all over the world. What, are you mad that you do reason so?
Not mad, but mated. How? I do not know.
It is a fault that springeth from your eye.
For gazing on your beams, fair sun, being by.
Gaze when you should, and that will clear your sight.
As good to wink, sweet love, as look all night.
Why call me love? Call my sister so.
Thy sister's sister.
That's my sister.
No, it is thyself, my old self's better part. My eyes clear eye, my dear heart, dearer heart. My food, my fortune, and my sweet host's aim. My soulless heaven and my heaven's claim.
All this my sister is, or else should be.
Call thyself sister sweet, for I am thee. Thee will I love, and with thee live my life. Thou hast no husband yet, nor I no wife. Give me thy hands.
Oh, soft sir, hold you still. I'll fetch my sister to get her goodwill.
What's happening?
It was really interesting yesterday listening to Madam Zheng talk about modern